Okay, so today we are going to look at an illustration. But before we look at the illustration, it is important for me to quickly show you the format of the adjusted cash book and the bank reconciliation statement. Professors, remember that all that we have been doing bothers about some 10 possible causes of the difference between the bank statement balance and the cash book balance, right? And so I've made you appreciate that these causes are unpresented checks, uncredited checks, bank charges, standing order, dishonored check, credit transfers, interest received, errors made by the bank, and errors made by the bookkeeper or the business accountant. Okay. So in this first illustration, or before the illustration, I think you need to appreciate that we said this is the format of the adjusted cash book. Okay. And in our last lesson, we explained how you adjust the items that we have mentioned. And so you would remember that I said 7 of the items are adjusted in the cash book, i.e. bank charges, standing orders, debit transfers, dishonored check, right? Interest received, dividend, credit transfer. Now it's simple. The items that you are receiving into your bank account, you debit them to your cash book, and those that you are paying, making payment like bank charges, standing orders, debit transfers, you credit them. I also gave a hint about the reconciliation statement, that you can begin with the balance as per the cash book, okay? The balance as per the cash book. If you start with that, then you need to add unpresented checks and less uncredited checks. Now, the wrong credits, wrong debits you see here are the errors made by the bank. And I also give you a hint that wrong credit goes with unpresented checks and wrong debit goes with uncredited checks. The little clue I can give you here to remember this is always look at this. Uncredited checks, okay, credited checks would always move with wrong debits. So pick that, and I'm sure you'll be comfortable as to adjusting these wrong debits and wrong credits. Okay. So when you are learning, you can say, okay, balance as per cash, you add unpresented checks, less uncredited checks. Then you remember, okay, uncredited checks go with wrong debit. So wrong credit also goes with the unpresented check. Good. Now this is the case where the balance as per the cash book is positive or is favorable. Okay. I also spoke about if it is an overdraft, then the format will change. If it is an overdraft, okay, if the balance per the cash book is an overdraft, which is negative, then you reverse it. This time you add the uncredited checks and less the unpresented check. So it's very simple. When you learn the format, you can manipulate it. Okay. If it is positive, we add unpresented checks. If it is negative, we do what? We less unpresented checks. Right. So you can even learn the first format, and the other formats, you just do what mathematicians will say, change of subjects. Okay. Now, if you decide to begin with the balance per the bank statement, the balance per the bank statement, okay, then what you do is you add uncredited checks and less unpresented checks. If that balance is an overdraft, as you see here, then again you reverse it. You would add unpresented checks and less uncredited checks. And I think I did a demonstration as why we add and less these items. So please watch the videos if you have issues with it. Or better still, you can prompt me here so that I can quickly go over it for you. So the note here is the choice of the format is dependent on which balance you are starting with. Okay. And sometimes it depends. The question might give you the balance and you have no option than to begin with that particular balance. Okay. So let's look at the first illustration. Now, professors, let me be quick to tell you that bank reconciliation statement questions, okay, come in 3 different formats. The first format is what we are going to look at, which is where you are given the cash book and the bank statement. Okay, so you are given the cash book and the bank statement. So let's look at the illustration here. And this is WASI question, right? November. Below are the cash book and bank statement of Baba Dogo for the month of December. No, I think a professor should read this for me. So professors, one of you should read this for me. I beg you. Who is going to do the reading? Okay, Prof. Eunice. I think Prof. Eunice is joining us live for the first time. So I'll allow her to read it for me. Prof. Eunice, can you read the illustration on the screen for me? Prof. Eunice. Or maybe I got the wrong. Okay, Prof. Lassie. Please, can you hear me? Lassie, if you can hear me. If your background is not so conducive, you can alert me in the chat, but I need to hear from you. Because if you don't respond, it means you are not here with us. So please let me get a response from you. Okay, while I wait for I think let me call Ashley to Prof. Ashley.
Hello.
Yes, please read the question for us.
Okay. WASI 2018 for private candidates paper 2, section B, question 6. Below are the cash book and bank statements of Baba Dogo for the month of December 2017. December 1st, balance brought down 2,160. December 1st, wages and salary, which is credited 1,400. 4th December, King, 130 cedis. 7th December, cash 220. 12th December, Saki 800. 17th, cash 180. 22nd, cash 120. 28th, Bitu 70. 6th December, Kofi 360. 11th, Bukari 500. 15th, Akba 350. 17th, Okoro 170. 30th, Kufu 100. And 31st, balance carry down 980.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay. So that is the cash book. If you all agree with me, that is the cash book of this business, Baba Dogo. Now let's go down and see the bank statement. Professor Emanuela Ade, you are welcome. Okay. So that is the cash book. As you all know, this is your cash book, the debit side or the receipt side, where you receive some monies from King, Jackie, etc. And then the payment side, where you are paying some wages and salaries, creditors like Kofi Bukari, etc. Now let's look at the bank statements, and this is what you have on the bank statement. So you have December 1st, the balance is 2,160, and then you have all these details, some under the debit column or the withdrawal column. Note, I indicated that the debit column of the bank statement is the withdrawal column, okay, and the credit side is the deposit column, or where you receive money into. You see familiar things like check dishonored, BC Limited dividend, and bank charges. Now look at the requirement of the question. You are required to prepare the adjusted cash book and B, the bank reconciliation statement. Honorable professors, I'm saying that if the question is given to you in this format, then you would have to go through the following steps. So look at the tips given here before we even go to answering the question. When the cash book and the bank statement are given, like the illustration above, we follow the following steps. Step 1, compare the debit side of the cash book to the credit side on the bank statement to identify uncredited checks. And I remember demonstrating this in our previous class. 2, compare the credit side of the cash book to the debit side of the bank statement to identify unpresented checks. 3, check for any errors made in the cash book or the bank statement, right? 4, adjust the cash book with standing order, bank charges, dividend, direct debits, direct credits, etc., and prepare the reconciliation statement. Now, my noble professors, the English written plenty here simply means that if you are given the cash book and the bank statement like this question, you do comparison to find the causes, okay? So let me show you how you do this comparison. So let me see if I can get the bank statement on another page so that we can compare. Prof. Eunice, I have still not heard from you. Are we safe or you have gone to Mecca? If you have a challenge with your microphone, you can type in the chat for me. Okay, I just want to know you can hear us and you are fully with us. Okay. So professors, yes, this is the bank statement, and let me put the cash book also. Okay, so professors, since we are comparing, I want to get the two documents, closer to each other so that the comparison will be very easy for us. Okay, so if we don't do it like that, comparing will be difficult. you would have to be scrolling. So let me get the two side by side. Okay, I think it's okay now. So you can now see the cash book on the left side and the bank statement on the right side. Now look at how we do the comparison. So first, you compare the debit side of the cash book, right? The one I've highlighted here, to the credit side of the bank statement. If you do that comparison, the figures you get are called uncredited checks. And it is very simple. You have debited them in your cash book. You are supposed to see them at the credit side of your bank statement. So if it is not there, it is an uncredited check. Okay? Then if you are looking for the unpresented check, you compare the credit side of the cash book to the debit side of the bank statement, right? So it's like checks that have been credited but has not been debited here. But I told you we don't call them undebited checks. We call them unpresented checks. So professors, you will do this comparison with me so that we can fish out these unpresented checks and uncredited checks. However, we would have to do that in the second session. The first session is up. So please, let's go to the page and pick the second session details, okay? So that we can continue the class from there. Prof. Eunice, I'm still waiting to hear from you. Until I hear from you, I'll be mentioning your names. So you can type something to alert me that, oh, say I'm here. Okay. See you in the second session.